Daniel Jones' time as a New York Giant is officially over and done with after a series of events led up to his release, right? Daniel Jones was seen taking scout team snaps at safety. That's something you don't normally see a once starting quarterback, a once $40 million a year quarterback doing. You don't see him on the scout team, especially at safety where there's a chance that he could still get injured. There's a reason the Giants ended up benching him because they didn't want to have to pay that injury guarantee, and for him to play scout team safety, there's still that chance that maybe he could get injured. Not as likely as if he were to stay as the quarterback and play real time, in a real game and stuff like that and take those injuries. But after those snaps as scout team safety, Daniel Jones quickly requested his release from the New York Giants, and, well, they basically accepted it right away, releasing Daniel Jones, which gave him the opportunity, or gives him the opportunity, to seek other teams and hopefully clear waivers, which he has to clear waivers by 3 p.m. today. If that happens, teams around the NFL probably are going to be chomping at the bit to get Daniel Jones because it's not that expensive to get him, and you kind of get a little bit of some extra. You get something special in return. Not really special, but you get an extra little kind of addition to the signing of Daniel Jones if your team would do so. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are actually one of those teams that are linked to potentially signing Daniel Jones. So let's get right into it. Before we do, a quick shout out to our partners at Green Gridiron. If you want one of these mini helmets, feel free to hit the link I have pinned in the comment section and in the description. Use promo code MINSYN at checkout, MINSYN, for a small discount on your purchase. They have these mini helmets. They have replica sized helmets. They have fully customizable helmets. If you want an NFL, a college football one, or if you just want one for your personal use, whether you're in high school or something like that and you need a new helmet, Green Gridiron is the place for you, and they have everything when it comes to helmets if you're looking for that. But again, use my promo code MINSYN for a small discount on your purchase, and hit that link that I have pinned in that comment section. It's also in the description. So, Daniel Jones, potentially linked to Minnesota. At first, when I seen this, I was like, oh boy. Like, of course, Minnesota's going to be linked to him because we really don't have much depth at quarterback at this time in the season. Nick Mullins is our number 2. Daniel Jones, arguably a little bit better than Nick Mullins. I think I'd feel safer with Danny Dimes in the pocket than I do Nick Mullins. Like when Nick had to come in this past week against the Chicago Bears, I was holding my breath thinking, please just do not throw the ball away. He didn't, thankfully. He only had to play one snap. But at the same time, Sam Darnold, if he continues to go down, who would you rather have come into the game? Would you rather have Nick Mullins or Danny Dimes? Now, people are saying we can't afford it. This would be dumb. Why would we want Danny Dimes? He's not that great. I get it. He's not great at all. I would not like Danny Dimes as a Minnesota Viking, but as a backup, I think I'd be okay with it because he is super cheap, right? Adam Schefter today, let's get right into this story quickly. He basically tweeted that former New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones is expected to clear waivers today and have a new home on a 1-year deal sooner rather than later. That 1-year deal basically just says the rest of this season. That is all it's going to take. So how much would that 1-year deal be? Well, Adam Schefter said it's probably going to be around $375,000. It's all you would have to pay him. You sign Daniel Jones, $375,000 is all you would have to pay him this season because the New York Giants are taking on a lot of his salary cap this season, or I guess you could say dead cap because they did release him, but you wouldn't have to pay much for Danny Dimes. In a backup role, or even if he has to take over the starting role, that's a cheap quarterback for a guy that has been a starter in this league and has went to a playoff game and won a playoff game against, well, our Minnesota Vikings just a couple years ago. That was very heartbreaking, if you will, but Danny Dimes has been there. He's a decent quarterback. He's maybe not the greatest thing out there, but if you're looking for a solid backup, Danny Dimes might be that guy for the rest of the way, and Minnesota could be the ones to go out and sign him. Now, free agent Daniel Jones is expected to have multiple options, okay, but likely will prefer to finish the season on a playoff contending team where he will be involved in big games rather than going to a meandering quarterback needy team not in playoff contention. So that automatically puts us in the mix, right? As Adam Schefter also followed up with this tweet, he said, the Baltimore Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings are the likeliest teams to land free agent quarterback Daniel Jones per sources. Adam Schefter's plugged in. He knows what he's talking about most of the time. Okay, I'm not saying all of the time, most of the time, but they are hardly the only ones, right? There's gonna be a lot of suitors for Daniel Jones out there, especially if you're a playoff contending team. Like, off the top of my head, I really can't think of much more than us two, maybe Green Bay snags him, maybe, Detroit I've seen has been linked to him, which that would stink, but I could see Detroit doing something like that to make sure the Minnesota Vikings don't get him to, something like that. I have no idea, but Jones wants to sign with a playoff contender, and what happens in Week 12 is expected to influence his decision. So basically, we're in Week 12 right now. Games have already been played. We're waiting for the final one tonight. Where Danny Dimes signs is going to be very, very interesting. I'm not sure where he's going to choose if he clears waiver by 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, but Minnesota is likely, or one of the likeliest teams to sign him alongside the Baltimore Ravens. But there are also going to be many, many suitors, I think, for Daniel Jones, and it could happen. The signing literally could happen at some point today after he clears waivers, or even tomorrow, or sometime during this week. If that happens, we will make sure to let you know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. What would you think if Danny Dimes lands in Minnesota? Would you want him to be the backup? Would you want him to be, take over the starting role? I doubt that'd be the case, because I don't want him to take over the starting role. That's Sam Darnold's role right now. Daniel Jones will have to take the back seat, and if Sam gets hurt, sure, Danny Dimes can come in and do whatever he wants. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Daniel Jones potentially coming over to the Minnesota Vikings. Also, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. And quick, don't forget to hit the link I have pinned in the comment section for this helmet right here and use promo code MINSYN at checkout, MINSYN, for a small discount on your purchase. And also, if you want one of the Minnesota Viking backlit LED 3D logos, feel free to hit the link in the description and use promo code VS30 for $30 off your purchase. If you don't know what that looks like, take a look at some of my previous videos. You can see it right behind me. But have a great rest of the day, folks, and Skol Vikes.